Hey everybody, welcome to the nightly vid. Before we get started, I'd first like to thank everyone who hits the nightly vids every time we post them, and also are using the scanner site that we've created for any and all stratters because we've had it up for free for over 2 years now. So thank you very much for everybody. We would not be doing this without you. The other thing is I would like to talk about the pro version. So if you do not have the pro version, what you'll be able to still do is scan the daily, weekly, and monthly setups, and that's gonna be about it. So going forward, we may add more functionality, and we more than likely will. I'm fighting for adding more free functionality for everyone. But this is going to be available to any and everyone. So if you're someone that's using it just looking for actionable signals, you can still do that. With the Pro membership, it's going to be $15 a month, gives you access to all the timeframes, in-force scanning, and then specifically immediate access to new features. In the coming weeks, we'll be releasing multiple timeframe filtering. So you'll be able to scan multiple timeframes or all of the timeframes at once if you so choose. For example, so you want to scan for monthly signals in force with additional daily inside bar signals, you'll be able to do that. If you're a bigger timeframe trader and you're like, I want yearly signals in force with monthly and quarterly signals, you'll be able to do that too. And we will also be able to scan for bright green or bright red continuity and other cool features that we're going to be adding in the very near future. And then we'll also be adding watch lists, we'll adding custom alerts and saving filters or saved filters, as well as pre-created filters by me and the stat team, such as Sarah. And then this is one I'm really excited for, as well as the multi-time frame filtering, is the real-time dashboards. So in the near future, we'll be able to track and show dashboards of all the sectors and the simultaneous breaks. There's a few different ideas we got bounced around as far as how to create those dashboards. If you're someone who has a very keen design eye and is really good with data, feel free to reach out to us at the Stat Trading Twitter or and in the help tickets in the Discord if you have any cool sketches that you would like to see created. But that being said, though, thank you to everyone that's been using it, even if you've just been using it for free and that's all you're doing. We love to have you. And the pro membership is going to be directly supporting ongoing development and improvement. So this is not something we're doing to make money so much, more so to pour more money into the development of this and make it better and better as quick as we can. So without further ado, let's get started with this nightly vid. And tonight, what I first want to go over is what we saw, at least to start with the short week last week. We did see a lot of cool things occurring. So Apple went flying on the month, still bright green. So this thing is 3-2 expansion year to the upside and has momentum hammer into Tuesday. We'll see if that reconfirms into all-time highs. We'll also see Google inside day with the bright green month to start, all-time highs exhaustion risk. Microsoft inside day with Google at all-time highs exhaustion risk, but bright green on the month. And if we go to Netflix, it's going 2 up. It's going into all-time highs, also inside day. If we go to Meta did come back in a little bit more from the all-time highs, so a little bit red to start the week, come back in. We'll keep an eye on that. And the last one is Adobe in there. You'll see Adobe with the hammer 322 quarter. And this is what we mean by multiple time frames. So here's the quarter hammer in force signal bright green, which means it's in control. And then today, hammer day. So notice they're going up, going up, and then they set up the 222 hammer actionable signal. Above that, we want to know about it for sure tomorrow. So anytime Adobe is above 57675 tomorrow, we want to know about that. And then obviously all the inside days. If we take a look at the indexes, SPY goes doji to start the week, flat. If we go to Dow Jones, a little bit of a shooter, 322 setting up for, or 222 setting up for tomorrow, shooter counter hammer. So if that occurs, we'll have the rev strat week. We specifically see financials doing that as well with the potential shooter counter hammer day, pivot machine gun. And therefore, within that, you'll see things like Goldman Sachs, shooter counter hammer, and you'll notice this is what we're looking for. Create the signal at the top of the range. And now we'll have the day, week, and 60 red below this stuff tomorrow, 47486 if the financials start coming in. We'll also see Citigroups opening a little stronger this week. Wells Fargo opening a bit weaker this week with the 322 shooter counter hammer back down. So that's a little bit of a problem there, especially if financials follow through tomorrow. They'll be relatively weak as it traded 2 to the downside to start the week. Morgan Stanley also opens a little bit stronger. And Bank of America also opens with a little bit of a shooter. Citigroup, we already covered that. So financials we'll definitely want to know about. Another thing we see a little bit of is potentially a rev strat 122 on a Tuesday in the healthcares. So that tells us to look at the weakest healthcares, which are going to be taking last month's lows. So anything 2 down in the healthcares, we can go and look at those just to get an idea. So you'll see we have 37 names 2 to the downside in the healthcares, and therefore we have a lot of 2s to the downside there. That's something we want to know. What we then want to look for is we can look on the daily, we can look for the inside days or potential 2-2s for tomorrow. So anything inside in the healthcares, you're going to see we have about 22 inside days. So all of these are of relevance, and if we filter by direction for bearish, you're going to see we have 11, so no duplicates there. If we go to ABT, you'll see 3-1, and it's actually 1-3-3-1. So contraction, expansion, expansion again, contraction. So once we get the 2 here, that could pick the direction to start the new month, and that would be shooter month 2-2 to the downside. And notice gauging magnitude at the broadening formation, you'll have the daily 3-1 to trigger and confirm the monthly here with a magnitude to take out 100.64. It closed trading at 102.12. If you go to DXCM, I'm going to pick the ones I normally am trading. So DXCM, you get the inside day, which could trigger the inside week down, which would confirm what the healthcares did to start the month. And that would just go 2 down continuation month, but back through the previous monthly range. And you'll see that signal from the highs there is still good. So here's your try. And one thing we like to do is time the breakout. So if it goes from here to here, we'd break out of this range we're stuck inside, taking 67 out. So this is something we want to know about, especially if we can continue to stay below 113.01, because then we're expanding this range. And you'd have the sub try in here like this for the weekly. So you just got to stay outside this weekly try to start the new week with the inside down, and that'd get it going. If we go to CI, you'll see this is inside closer to 2 to the upside. So if healthcares are strong tomorrow, this would be the one we go after. Back through the daily try. If we go to DVA, also inside day at the bottom of the daily try. It's also going to be taking last month's lows inside down. Pivot machine gun. RMD. You'll also see inside day, top of the daily try. So go to the month. This one's a little stuck. We prefer not to do that. If you go to SYK, you will see the 3-1 day, so similar to the other 1-3-3-1 setup. And this is also shooter month to the downside. So SYK inside day would confirm that 3-1-2 to the downside. So those would be things we want to know about, and we love specifically this ABT setup. Looks very nice. If we go to any shooters in the healthcares, and I'd love to see a rev strat shooter ideally. Doesn't look like we have that. Do we have any 2 up in reds? So we don't have any shooters specifically in the healthcare sector, so that is okay. At least no rev strats. AMGM will be the one we normally trade in here. So AMGN, a little bit of a shooter day to start the week. Inside month as heck, though. So we're not too worried about that. If we go to COO, you'll see trending lower and then potential 2-2-2 shooter counter hammer. Confirming the monthly, and you'll see similar to the other one. Here's your internal try stuck inside of that. Wouldn't be taking these guys out, but you'd be closer to taking these guys out, 75, 72. On the quarter, it's just confirming what last quarter did with the shooter counter hammer day. And then tech, also a little bit of a shooter there. Closer taking the month inside down, and you'll see in here, this is what we mean when they're a little stuck. So here's the monthly try. They could come back through this stuff, but not as big as some of the other ones we've looked at. If we go then into the gold. Gold had a pretty good rally to start the week and the month and the quarter. So JNUG closer to 222 on a Tuesday, which would confirm and try and get the month inside and up again. And we've been tracking these gold stocks since down here at the bottom of the weekly try. So this is something we want to know about. If you go to GDX, GDX is a little stronger, already inside month and up, but here's your 222 day with JNUG. That could be simultaneous break. You can also track things like Nuggets, which is going to be very similar, and specifically gold. You'll see a little bit weaker, and then silver, a little bit stronger. So we'll be tracking the precious metals. You can also be looking at the XLB materials, which are, I believe, attempting to go 2-2 weeks. So it'd be a 2-2 above like 88.71, but currently not doing that quite yet. You can see they are trying to reclaim back into previous range through these guys. So this is something we'll want to know about if we see that starting to perk up. Outside of that, what we do see is specifically the cyclicals are still pretty weak. So following through this month and the second week of the month, we'll see Lulu. And this is something we mentioned on the quarterly macro vid going into last quarter. You'll see the top of the monthly try, like so. So if we go to the quarter, top of the quarterly try, boom, inside quarter, top of the try signal, and then you draw it. Inside down through into a reversal there, puke. And then inside month down reconfirms that signal below this. Below 296.21, it closed trading at 294.03. So we're looking to try and take these guys out at 251.51. We'll also see something like McDonald's. Inside month down, coming back through the previous range. It is a little closer to exhaustion risk in comparison to Lulu. So be aware of that, but you do have some obviously bigger tries to start coming back through as well there. If you go to the year on McDonald's, it's just about to become an outside year as well. In other news in the cyclicals, oh, looks like I lost my strat alert site. Let's get that back up. Other news in the cyclicals, though, we're going to see here. So you're also going to see Lulu, McDonald's. There's also Dick's and DPZ. So Dick's, you'll see, comes out new month, bright red, 322. And then starts with a slight 2 up, potential rev strat, 122 tomorrow, pivot machine gun through these guys. So Dick's, anytime below 198.83 tomorrow, we'd like to know about that because the daily signal confirms the 322 month with a magnitude to take out 182.84. If we go to Domino's Pizza, a little bit more of a mother bar problem. If you go on the day, it does start as a gap up sell. So if those sellers of yesterday or Monday are strong enough, we might be able to get them down into the bottom of this and start expanding the daily try. But you want to get that 2-2 down into 490.29 and then stay down there. If we go to Etsy is just going straight into lows, so Etsy is getting killed. They have obviously been to $6, so they're still trading at 60. You got some meat on the bone as far as the shorts are concerned. But when you're going into new lows like this on the month, you got to be aware of that potential exhaustion risk. You'd want to get them under this broadening formation, which is sitting like right around, it's like right around 53, 51, 54. So anytime we can get below that, that could have some worse issues there, expanding the range. And then the rest of these, I haven't traded them myself, but it looks like we have Ford in here. Well, all the other cyclicals are down. Ford is coming back up a little bit. But you'll see they go shooter on the day. So although it's stronger to start, you can see on Ford, they make the very slight higher high, top of that daily broadening formation potentially, and then the shooter day. So if we start failing back into this stuff, might have issues in Ford to start confirming the rest of the cyclicals. So that covers most of what we want to be looking at here. And if you're going to look at anything else, what you really want to be looking for is the 122 rev strats. So we can see, do we have any hammers setting up into tomorrow? Just in general. And we'd like these with full time frame continuity to the upside. And it doesn't look like we have them. Do we have any 2 down in green rev strats? Only one, TRGP and the energies. So it's a soft rev strat, not too much of interest to me. We can also look for continuity bearish with shooter to the downside rev strat. Don't got many of those setting up either. If you go 2 up in red, DHI, which is in the cyclicals, which is also in the home builders, and then Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree does have a 3122 rev strat setting up, which could take, let's see, it would take last week's lows for a 2-2 week back through the daily try here. And obviously Dollar Tree not been having the best of times in here. If we zoom out, you can see we've reclaimed a lot of this previous range of later years. So Dollar Tree obviously could go a lot lower still. If we go to the year is 2 to the downside. Quarter is just continuation of 2-2 quarter last quarter, and the month would be just continuation. So maybe DHI and the home builders would be a 122 rev strat on a Tuesday, bottom of that bigger time frame try in the weekly, but starting to reclaim back into this previous range. So you can see it's your previous try. They started a new one up in here, and they got out and started expanding it to start the month. But what I want to see is do the other home builders got that going. right now, home builders start with a 2 up on the week. LEN starts 2 up but red. PHM starts slight 2 up on the week. KBH slight 2 up on the week. So there could be a lot of 2-2s in there, but it looks like most of them go up to start the week. So we'll see if they come back in. We'll be monitoring the XHB. But that's going to cover most of what we want to talk about tonight. I'll see you guys in stat bright and early in the morning. And for those of you who watch the nightly vids, I'll see you guys in tomorrow night's nightly vid, and hope you guys have a good rest of your night.